All right, looking ahead to 2023 already, yes, yours truly is doing so. The fantasy football season, at least in my opinion, is over now that we know that the Bills and Bengals game will not be rescheduled for this week. You know, Yahoo has already declared winners. If you looked on the Yahoo platform today, winners were declared, and we're going to move on and you know, hopefully put this very disturbing end of the season behind us and now focus ahead on next season. Now, so with that said, next season, 2023, I put together a very early rankings of the quarterback position. Now, what I tried to do is come up with the top 12, you know, for single quarterback leagues, 12-team leagues. That way we have an idea of the top 12 going into next season. And what was interesting to me was among those top 12, I think there's definitely 5 tiers, all right? And in my opinion, I'm only comfortable with about the top 10. So let's get right to it. So number 1 in a tier all to his own. And before I go any further, make sure you hit the subscribe, hit that notification button. Lots of videos throughout the off season. So make sure you stay with us. Live streams every week as well. So the season's over, but there's going to be a lot of videos, a lot of discussion about free agency, the draft and whatnot. Tier 1, Josh Allen all by himself. I mean, this one is obvious. Josh Allen is, you know, has been the number 1 scoring quarterback in fantasy, I think, for now 3 years running. He's without peer. He's still running very heavily. Hasn't slowed down on that side of the offensive attack. So Josh Allen pretty much is a rock solid 25 to 35 point guy every single week. I made note how in the 2 leagues that I'm in the finals of both of these leagues, the Josh Allen owner made it to the finals. So, and I suspect he's on a very high percentage of final teams as well. All right, now the next tier is 2 players. All right, I have Pat Mahomes and Jalen Hurts together. I have Mahomes in the 2 spot, Hurts in the 3 spot. The reason why is because I like Mahomes' durability better. I like his body frame better. Hurts has already been injured this year. He's a slight quarterback. He's not very big. Mahomes has a track record of durability. Hurts does not. And Hurts is more reliant on his legs. Mahomes can run a little bit, but his passing numbers are just so ridiculous every year. Those are my 2-3 quarterbacks in tier 2. Now, the next tier 3, this is the one that's going to have the most discussion, I think, in terms of who the first guy is. I mean, you can make a case for any of the next 5 names on this list to be number 4. I put Lamar Jackson. Now, I know you're going to tell me, okay, he missed the entire second half of the season. He wasn't that great. Or missed all December, rather. He wasn't that great even before he got hurt. And that is all true. Whether he stays in Baltimore or whether he goes elsewhere, there is not a better running, passing combination quarterback outside of Jalen Hurts right now in the entire NFL. So, you know, we know as a pure passer, he may not even be top 12. But the whole combination of running, passing, I have Lamar number 4. Spoken many times about how I want that dual threat quarterback. Now in the number 5 spot, I kind of deviated from my dual threat quarterback desire. I put Joe Burrow. So Burrow has been unbelievable the last 2 seasons as a pure passer. And with Jamar Chase, with T. Higgins, he's got 2 of the best receivers in football on his team. The Bengals are a passing outfit. They're going to remain that as long as Burrow is there. Burrow is durable. He had the one, of course, the knee injury, but that was kind of a freak thing. Gunslinger, fights to the last whistle. I have Burrow in the 5th spot. In the 6th spot, I have Justin Herbert. Don't feel too great about that. He wasn't great this season, but his first 2 years were unbelievable. I think it was just an off year. They got there were injuries at receiver all season. He couldn't get into a routine with Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. So I have Herbert in the 6th spot. Now, the 7th spot, Trevor Lawrence. Love Trevor Lawrence. Anybody who's been watching me on the streams knows I've been going crazy for Trevor Lawrence for next season. He's going to be on the majority of my teams next season for sure. I have Lawrence in the 7th spot. I think he's going to be awesome. He's going to have Christian Kirk with Calvin Ridley, with Zay Jones. Evan Ingram probably will resign with Travis Etienne. He runs, he throws, he does everything. The numbers are just going to be stupid for a cheaper cost than the 6 guys ahead of him. Number 8, I have Justin Fields. So I think it's going to be a good debate between Fields and Lawrence, depending on what the Bears do in free agency. Do they give Fields a supreme receiver? Do they draft they trade up in the draft, or maybe even not need to trade up in the draft to take the TCU kid, the wideout? They got to fix the offensive line too. And the thing with Fields is, and we saw down the stretch of the season, the last 2 weeks especially, if you take away his running, there's just not much there. So he's not a good passer. He's not Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is a better passer than Justin Fields. It was very ugly when Fields stopped running in that last week, week 17. He just couldn't get anything going. So, part of that is the poor protection. Part of that, he was beat up. Part of that is that he has no weapons to throw to. But I have him in the 8th spot. He's spectacular when things are going right. Has very few peers when it comes to running. Other than Hurts and Lamar, there's not a better dual threat quarterback, and Josh Allen, of course, in the NFL. So I have him in the 8th spot. That ends tier 3. Now, tier 4, I have Kyler Murray at 9, and I'm not a Kyler Murray fan. I'm not going to draft him, but I know that he's got that dual threat ability, so I have him in the 9th spot. Always wears down the second half of the year. Seems to always get beat up the second half of the year. That's why you don't want him, because he's not there for you when you need him the most. The 10th spot, I have Dak Prescott right now. I have Deshaun Watson at 11. You could switch those two easily. I do like the price on Watson in particular, because he's going to run. Dak doesn't run anymore. So maybe I lean slightly to Watson. I maybe should have put him at 10 or 11. Watson, Prescott, I'm fine with either one of those guys. And that's the end of tier 4. Tier 5, number 12, who I think should round out the top 12 for next season. You're probably going to disagree with me, but hear me out. Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, under Brian Daboll, we saw Brian Daboll develop Josh Allen from a scattershot, awful accuracy quarterback to the stud he is today. We're starting to see Daniel Jones take that next step. He was unbelievable. 4 total touchdowns last week against Indianapolis. He's a big-time runner. He throws a very good deep ball, strong arm. They're going to get him weapons. The numbers were not bad this season, even though we had nobody to throw to. Daniel Jones has that dual-threat quarterback ability. I think he works in the number 12 spot. Those are your top 12 single quarterback mixed leagues. Now, from that point on, number 13, I have Geno Smith. Not loving it. I mean, he was good this season, no doubt about it. He could run a little. 14, I have Kirk Cousins, just a pure passing specialist all the way. And if you guys notice, pretty much almost every quarterback, with the exception of Burrow and Herbert, I made sure I had guys in the top 12 that were dual threat. Number 15, I have Trey Lance. I'm curious to see, he can't stay healthy, but Trey Lance, we all wanted him this year because of his dual threat ability. The numbers could have been very interesting for him, but he got hurt, of course. And, he's a real dart throw lottery pick next season. In a single quarterback league, I'm fine drafting him for the upside as the backup. 16, I have Jared Goff, one-dimensional player. 17, I have C.J. Stroud. So C.J. Stroud, my favorite quarterback coming out of the draft from Ohio State, 4 touchdown passes against a Georgia team loaded with NFL caliber players in the semifinals of the college football playoff. Love C.J. Stroud, whether it's the Texans, the Panthers, wherever he ends up. He's got dual threat ability as well. Very interested in C.J. Stroud at 17. I have Aaron Rodgers at 18, Tom Brady 19, Matthew Stafford at 20. Those 3 guys are all interchangeable, one-dimensional passes. And I have Tua Tagovailoa at 21. Can't stay healthy. Was in the MVP discussion the first half of the year, no doubt. But there's big questions now about him, in terms of his career going forward with all these concussions that he suffered. So there you have it. That's my top 21. So feel free to post in the comments. Disagree, just keep it respectful. I respect everybody's opinion, so let's just keep it clean in the comments. Hit the subscribe, hit the notification button. More videos on the way as the off season has already begun for me.